So after my Pokemon Scarlet Shiny Only Nuzlocke, which took me weeks to record, I thought it might be fun to do an easier challenge, Can I do a run of Hades using only Poseidon boons? Now, I've wanted to do this challenge for a while, ever since I got Hades 2 years ago, because I love Poseidon. I think he's a pretty cool dude. But it was not nearly as easy as I thought. It went more like this.
Everybody off. Morty, I need your help. We need to go on a quick adventure. Let's go. In and out. 20 minutes adventure.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Hades is a roguelike game, and I don't know what that means, but it's really fun. Essentially, the premise is you are Zagreus, the son of Hades, and it is your goal to escape the underworld and meet up with your mother on the mortal plane. Now, each time you try to escape, you will probably perish for maybe the first 20 runs or so until you get the hang of it. But after each attempt, you do get to keep the currencies that you pick up on your way out, and you get to spend those currencies on upgrades to increase your power level, get extra lives, different weapons, all that good stuff. So each attempt makes you a little bit more powerful until you are finally able to escape the underworld and hopefully meet your mom. Now, on our journey up, we do run into a handful of gods who will either offer to help us. Some of them might try to kill us if we make the wrong choice, but regardless, it's fine. They're pretty nice for the most part, surprisingly. But there are a handful of mythical creatures and enemies that will try to stop us on our way up, such as the Furies, Lerny, the Bone Hydra, the Minotaur and Theseus, and finally our own father, Hades. Now, you may think the game is over once you finally manage to escape, but actually, not really, because every time you escape, you progress the story a little bit more. Yes, this game actually has a full story, and it's really good. It involves bringing the gods closer together as a family, reuniting your father with the other Olympians, forging a bond with your mother, and rekindling your relationship with your dad, getting a new job. It's actually very sweet. And as far as I know, I think this game's only like $20-$30, so definitely give it a shot if you enjoy what you see. It is seriously a special game, and I think they're coming out with a Hades 2 soon, so keep an eye out for that as well. But the rules of this challenge are pretty simple, so we're only allowed to use Poseidon boons to damage enemies. That means if I get Poseidon's special attack, which you're going to see on screen right there, that's where the water comes out, I can only use the special attack until I get another Poseidon boon. Now, I didn't confirm this part of that rule until probably the 30th run, so you won't see it in these failed attempts, but in our final attempt, we do follow that rule. Regardless, the next rule is we must be impertinent, and if you've read the Percy Jackson books or seen the new Disney Plus series, you will understand what that means. And finally, we have to defeat Hades and escape the underworld. So let's start with our build. We are, of course, using the Blade of Stygius, and on the Blade of Stygius, we're going to use the aspect of Poseidon. No way. And what that does is whenever we use our cast ability, when we use our special after that, it'll dislodge from our opponents. It's not really that helpful, but it's theme appropriate. We're also going to grab the conch shell right here to guarantee a boon from Poseidon. So, super help. And finally, we are going to put a few things on the Pact of Punishment, because why not? These are just optional challenges that can make the game more difficult. And it also unlocks some different paths that we can take if we increase it up to like 20, I think. But we're only going to do up to 5. These challenges include things like increasing the enemy's attack power by like 20%, increasing their attack speed, giving them one free hit that they can take before they actually take damage, putting a time limit on us, spawning more enemies, making traps do more damage. There's a lot more. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, and I'm sure you don't want to hear me listing them off, so we're going to move on from this. And this is the last failed attempt that I'll show you guys. It is fighting the final boss, Hades, of course. And he just destroyed us in this attempt. So, it was great. It's always fun getting to the final boss and then losing. Start off this run by getting the Hammer of Hephaestus. Now what this does is it automatically, oh my god, I'm special. What it does is it augments our sword, and the upgrade that we chose to get from it makes it so that our special attack from our sword hits twice, which is really good for the Poseidon boon, so I was happy to get that. And I am allowing the Hammer of Hephaestus in this run because it just makes it a little bit more interesting. And it's fun. And right there, we did a little challenge room where we couldn't get hit by any enemies. We succeeded, and we got 50 extra health. Super helpful. Any extra health that we can get is going to be a great boon in our eventual hopeful victory. Now, after we clear a room, we get multiple choices as to where we can go next. Of course, I'm going to try to pick the Poseidon boon every single chance that I get, but if I don't, I'm going to try to avoid any other gods. Ideally, I like to get extra health, I like to get more coins, and I like to get, of course, Poseidon boons. If I can't get any of those, I will take the Darkness, which is the purple crystal thingy that you'll see on some of the doors, and what that'll do is just give me 5 extra health every time I get that. So I try to go for those, ideally, but we can't always get what we want in this game, considering how heavily RNG based it is. Now, right over here, we get our first Poseidon boon. We got some good choices, but I do end up choosing the special to go with the Hammer of Hephaestus that I just got. Look at that. It's really good damage, really good for clearing out groups of enemies, which will help out very much because most of this game is clearing out rooms of enemies. And now there are 4 main areas of the game, and after we get through each of the areas, there's going to be a boss that we have to face. Again, it's going to be one of the Furies, the Bone Hydra, Theseus, and the Minotaur is in the same boss fight, And then, of course, the final one is Hades. Now, of course, this first area of the game isn't very difficult, so I'll go off on a tangent. The Percy Jackson Disney Plus series. I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it was as good as the books, of course, but, you know, live-action remakes of books rarely are. I thought the casting was interesting. I don't care that Annabeth is black. It would have been cool to see the blonde surfer girl finally that Percy had described when he first saw her. But that's fine. I think she did a good job. The only problem I had with the actor that played Percy, I think it would have been nice if he was a little bit more what's the word? Sassy. Yeah, Percy is sassy as hell in the books, so it would have been nice to see that side of him a little bit more. Regardless, they all did grow on me as the series went on. I thought it got stronger as it went on as well. So I am looking forward to Season 2 whenever it comes out. I think it'll be good. The only other thing I would have liked to see is the Ares fight scene. I wish that was choreographed a little bit better, and I wish his aura that made Percy angry was shown a little bit more. Maybe the little nukes in his eyes would have been cool, but that could have been cheesy too. Regardless, over here we do get the choice of some Poseidon boons, and we end up going for the dash. Now, the dash is really good. After every time we dash, we do a decent amount of damage, and we push enemies away. So that, in combination with our special, will do a lot of damage. And we once again get the option to go into this challenge room and hopefully get some money out of this. Yeah, again, we just have to go through this without getting hit a single time. Unfortunately, I suck, and I ended up getting smacked by that large ghost. I think they're lairs, technically. I think that's Roman, but I don't know. I'm not that mythologically inclined. But with our special and dash with Poseidon, we are able to clear things out very quickly. and we do a decent amount of damage to everything as well, so we will have an easy time in the rest of Tartarus as we make our way to the next area. Oh, and that chest back there, you'll see in a minute, that's also another optional challenge. Essentially how it works is when we start the chest, we'll get like, I think 150 coins, and we have to clear out the room of enemies as quickly as possible, and those coins will deplete as the timer goes down. So I think we end up like 130 something coins, so we do end up clearing it pretty quickly, and we get a decent amount of coins from this little encounter. And ideally, I would like to get all 4 Poseidon attacking boons. You can see them on the right side of the screen, the attack, special, cast, and dash. And the only other boon I really want from Poseidon is something that would let me use his debuff, which is called Rupture. And Rupture is just damage over time whenever we attack enemies with any of his boons, like our dash or special that we have right now. So I'm hoping to get Rupture and the others, and obviously I would like to get as many as possible, but I'll take what I can get. And right here, this is another optional thing. This is meeting with the god Chaos, and it's basically a deal with the devil. It offers us a buff that'll be active after a few rooms, but until the buff is active, we'll be debuffed. So right there, every time we attack, we'll lose some health. But after that, all of our boons will have a higher chance of being rare. And the rarity of boons does matter. It's basically just increased damage, so I think it's common and then blue, purple, red, yellow in terms of rarity levels, something like that. So ideally we would like to get as many blue or purple boons as possible, and right now we do have the blue special and the purple dash, so we're looking good so far. And this right here is Alecto, one of the 3 Fury sisters, and yeah, I think Meg is the easiest one to take out, but Alecto isn't too far behind her. This is the first main boss, and of course they're not going to make the first main boss too difficult. That being said, if you're not prepared, you will die very quickly. But thankfully, again, with our build, having dash and special, like, we do a lot of damage very quickly, so we end up taking her out very quickly, and we move on to our next area. Now, in between each area, we do have the option to sell any boons from other gods. Right now, we don't have any from other gods, which is nice, but it's always nice to have the option. So the whole must be impertinent rule obviously is a joke, because Percy was always being sassy to the gods and to any of his enemies. So if we get an option to be sassy, we're gonna take it, basically. But there are a few. I definitely got some during some of my runs, but not necessarily during all of them. So this is the second area, the lava-covered lake of Asphodel, I guess, is a good description. It kind of looks like Bowser's castle. And the lava, of course, is going to do damage to us if we stand in it. Unfortunately, it's very annoying. But it also does damage to some of the enemies, which is really nice. So, especially with the Poseidon boons, we can just push enemies into the lava and have them take a lot of damage from that. So, I'll take it. And of course, with each new area, there are going to be some new enemies that spawn in. Usually they're a little bit difficult than the previous area, so we are going to have to play a little bit more careful every time that we move up. Oh, and this doorway that I just went through had a pomegranate on it. And what the pomegranate does is it increases the level of one of our boons of our choosing. Not the rarity, but the level. So there are 2 ways to increase damage. One is to increase the rarity, the other is to increase the level. So we do take the poms when we have to take them, but to me personally it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, Asphodel doesn't go too poorly so far. We end up leveling up our special to just get some extra damage, and we get the option to get some coins or go to the shop, and I already have a decent amount of coins, so we're just going to go to the shop, see if we can find another Poseidon boon. And unfortunately, we had to grab the mystery boon, and we got Athena, which is fine. We end up taking her cast, and that is okay, because we can go fishing. Now, every time I see a fishing spot, I am going to stop at the spot, of course. That is theme appropriate. But, yeah, we get Athena's cast, and I chose that one because I don't have to use the cast. And I can hopefully sell it once we complete Asphodel. You can see it right here. Yeah, it just sends a weird ball ahead, but yeah. We get a little mini boss room, kind of. There's no boss, but it's like a special encounter on this boat of bones, ship of bones. I don't know. But these blue crystal thingies will shield any other enemies that are nearby, and we have to take out the crystals in order to damage the other enemies. Super easy, especially when you have area of effect damage, AoE damage, for those of you who understand nerdy stuff. And yeah, we clear that very quickly. We do unfortunately have to take a Demeter boon, and this time we end up taking the call. Again, completely optional to use, so I'm just not going to use the call. Now, this video was so much fun to make. I know it took a while, but I love this game. There's just so many layers. It's so replayable too, because every time, again, it's heavily RNG based, so every time that you play through it, you'll get a different combinations and boons, and especially if you're not going for a specific build like mine, the combinations are basically endless, if not actually endless. Well, no, mathematically there is a finite number of runs that you can do, but I'm sure that number is way too high for anybody to possibly achieve in any one lifetime, and I'm not doing the math to figure out that number and the amount of hours it would take, but if somebody wants to do that in the comments, go for it. The point is, there's basically an infinite amount of runs. We do get a Wampa right here. That's one of the enemy types in Asphodel. They're fun. I like those guys. They definitely lean into the Mario inspiration for this, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just weird. We do stop at this shop, and we don't really see anything that we need, so we keep moving. We'll go to the other shop. Hopefully, again, get a Poseidon boon. Though we're not having the best luck getting his boons, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, we'll grab some extra health while we're here, but we're not grabbing the Artemis boon. This next boss is Lerny, the Bone Hydra. And I wouldn't say he's difficult. He is somewhat annoying, though. Basically, there are 3 phases to this fight. In between each phase, we'll spawn in a number of mini Bone Hydras. They like to just sit in the lava, so we end up taking a lot of damage just trying to take these guys out. And they also spawn in pools of lava, as you can see, so it's very difficult to not take damage here. This is why I probably won't ever do a no-hit run unless unless it's heavily requested. Thankfully, I don't have too many subscribers right now, so I don't think I'll have to do that for a little while. But if by the off chance this does get more popular and people want to see a no-hit run, I will suffer. Please don't make me. But again, we do a great amount of damage with the 2 Poseidon boons that we have, so we're able to take out these little mini Bone Hydras very quickly, and finally move on to finishing damaging the big guy Lerny. Forget his full name. I think it's only shown for like half of your runs, as every time you encounter him there's like a new dialogue, and eventually Zagreus decides to nickname him Lerny. But with Lerny vanquished, we are able to move on to Elysium. Now, I believe Elysium in the myths is where the heroes go. So we'll be fighting a lot of warriors who have perished in battle or something. I don't know the lore, but so this is the pool of purging. That's where we sell our boons, and we do get to sell both the Athena and the Demeter boons, so we're back to just having Poseidon boons right now, so that's great. But being 50% done, we still have all of our lives. We have full health, I think. Almost full health. And we're in a pretty good spot. We get access to another hammer up here, so we're going to claim this and see how we can augment our weapon further. I'm looking for hopefully the attacking augment where it sends a wave ahead of you. I know that doesn't mean much to people who aren't heavily invested in Hades. I forgot what it's called, but every time you do the normal slash attack, it'll send like a wave of energy ahead of you, and that does a basically just some extra damage. So I like that one a lot, but I'll take whatever we get, as long as it's not the one that decreases your max health. Let's see. Okay, so attack deals more damage to armor. Thrust attack deals more damage. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, we'll take the other special one. This one makes us lunge ahead when we use our special and makes us sturdy. Sturdy just makes us damage resistant by about 30% for about a second every time we use our special. So that's actually pretty good. So yeah, again, after each new area of the game, there are more enemies that do more damage. These guys are special because they spawn these little ghosts, and if they go back to their body, they can resurrect. So we gotta take out the ghosts after we defeat each warrior. Oh, and next up, this room up here, this is one of these special rooms. So we get the choice between a Poseidon and a Demeter boon. We of course end up choosing Poseidon, but that offends Demeter. Oh, and we do get the Rupture boon up here, so every time we do damage with our dash or special, we'll get some damage over time as well. But yeah, again, this makes Demeter a little bit angry, so she decides to attack us while we take out all the enemies in this room. Now, of course, it's never a good idea to make enemies of the gods, but after we prove that we are strong and we can survive, Demeter does end up forgiving us, and she graciously gives us access to one of her boons, which we really don't want during this run, but we're gonna have to take it anyway because we don't have a choice. It's fine though. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. So right here, we just end up taking the, I didn't even read that. I think it's the attacking one. It went by too quickly. It's fine. Anyway, there's another boss room up here, and we're kind of just trying to take out all these ghosts before they revive any enemies, and then chip away at this weird little fairy butterfly pink orb thing. Again, I would kind of love to know the lore on some of these enemies, because where do they come up with this stuff? I mean, it's cool and unique for sure. Again, I love most of the aspects of this game, especially the enemies. The designs are very well done. But we do eventually chip away enough to take out the pink butterfly orb thingy, and we're just left with the ghosty boys, which don't pose too much of a threat. Unfortunately, one of them does revive his warrior, but we're pretty strong at this point, so we got him. Unfortunately, we do get access to another Zeus boon, and right here we're gonna re-roll it to see if we can get a better. Nope, we're not gonna re-roll it. I knew that was gonna happen. I was just baiting you. Get baited. But we took his attack here because we don't need to use that, and we're hopefully gonna sell it. So we do get access to another Chaos portal, and we go through this gate and meet with Chaos again and see what she offers us, or they, them. And once again, we get access to increased chance of a rare boon, and the only thing that we can't do is use our cast, which I think we actually have the Demeter cast right now, so we're not going to use that anyway. But we're just going to keep making our way through Elysium and hopefully get some more Poseidon boons, because we only have 3 right now and we're about 75% of the way through this game. If we make it to Hades with only 3, we're in for some trouble. It's fine though, we'll make it work. I don't really have much to say right now. I could ramble on about other things and how I felt about the horrible Percy Jackson movie. Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. That movie was terrible. I actually really like the casting, though. I think if they were all about 10 years younger, they would have been really good for Annabeth Grover and Percy. Logan Lerman is a really good actor. I think he would have been great, but the rest of the movie was horrible. Oh, and this guy right here, this is Patroclus, and there's some tea with Patroclus and Achilles. Now, in life and in the myths, Patroclus and Achilles were the best of friends. They were so good of friends, in fact, that after they had both passed away, their ashes were intertwined and they were buried together. Now, as you can probably guess, a lot of historians and mythologists, is that a word? Tend to think that maybe they were more than just bros, and that they were actually lovers. And there are others that firmly believe that there's no way the greatest warrior in all of history was homosexual. Now, again, their ashes were intertwined. They were mixed together and buried in the same place. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good indication that they were maybe more than just good friends. But, you know, it's entirely possible that they just really loved each other like bros, you know? I want my ashes to be intertwined with all of my bros. So, but I don't know. You can believe whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. The point is they loved each other. Whether that was brotherly love or romantic love, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, at least. Though my opinion is often wrong. But finally we come to the boss encounter. This is, of course, a Charon shop, and we grab a pomegranate while we're here, because why not? And this boss battle is the Minotaur and Theseus. Now, you'll recognize that in the myths, Theseus was the one who had slain the Minotaur. But now they're good buddies. Theseus is actually kind of a jerk, and the Minotaur is really cool, so they switch spots, kind of. Theseus also looks like my buddy Teddy, which I think is hilarious, but Teddy's not a cocky, arrogant jerk, unlike Theseus, so I take no pleasure in doing this. But again, the Minotaur is a really cool dude in this. He's just a warrior who is trying to increase his skills in battle. And every time that we fight him, he's just really respectful and chill and just an overall good dude. Whereas Theseus is just an arrogant jerk. And now Theseus has curried? I think it's curried the favor of the gods, so he does have access to some godly powers, though in this case that doesn't stop us from thoroughly beating him. And that's not to say this boss encounter isn't difficult, because in the past runs I have died to these guys many times, especially when I had first started playing this game. I could not get past these guys for a good 15-20 attempts. So yeah. They are very difficult. Fighting two very tanky and very high damaging enemies is always going to be difficult, of course. But in this case, we take them out without losing a single life. Well done, Minotaur. You fought bravely and valiantly. I will see you again soon. Now, with that, we are finally through Elysium. Now, all that's left is the great and mystical labyrinth. And we do get to sell our boons that are not of Poseidon, thankfully, so we are 75% of the way done with only Poseidon boons in our inventory, which is awesome. Unfortunately, we still only have 3 Poseidon boons, so I'm really hoping to get some more here. And now as I go through my inventory, you're going to see the hammers of Hephaestus, as well as the conch shell, and the 2 powers that we got from Nyx were just increasing the level of rarity from our future boons. I think we have like a 40% chance of getting a rare or better, so that's actually awesome. Ooh, a fishing spot. We've gotten like, what, 3 different fishes in this That's not grammar. We've gotten 3 different fish in this run, which is pretty good. Usually there's not that many. Anyway, we do manage to get a Poseidon boon from this shop up here, and we have enough money to buy it, so we end up going for the cast up here. Now, I think the cast is a little bit underrated. It does a high amount of damage and pushes enemies away with each cast. And then with the aspect of Poseidon that's on our sword, every time we use our special, we get access to use our cast again. And we have 3 casts of our cast. So we can cast our cast 3 different casts. It's great. And now the goal of this area is to grab a treat for our lovely, lovely good boy known as Cerberus. I'm sure you've heard of him, the 3-headed dog. And basically the first path that we choose is guaranteed to not have that treat in it. So we go for the Poseidon path, which thankfully has spawned in for us. So that means we will have 5 whole boons from Poseidon, which isn't that many, but it's fine. I mean, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. And then I think the second room has a 50% chance of spawning the treat. That's the word. Regardless, there are runs where you can go through every single room and have it spawn in on the last room, or runs that it'll spawn in on the second room, or anything in between. So it's very random. It's, again, like many other things, RNG based, and throughout all of the labyrinth there are enemies that will poison you. As you can see on screen right now, there will be a green hue on the edges of the screen. You just have to run to any of those little pools of yellow liquid to heal the poison. And the poison does a lot of damage very quickly. And the last Poseidon boon that we get access to is the attack, which means we have all 4 regular attacks. The attack, special, cast, and dash, as well as the one that ruptures the opponents every time we use one of those to damage them. So this is actually pretty ideal. We do have some good choices for our other ones. I do end up going for extra health because it is literally always needed. Again, healing is kind of tedious in this game. We heal 3 health every time we go through a new door, and that's one of the upgrades you get from playing the game a lot. Other than that, we have to buy it at a shop, get an increase in health like we're going to through this set of rooms, or when we complete a full area, we can restore our health. And over here, I'm just buying literally everything that I can from this little shop right here, because we don't really need any money for the rest of the run, so why not spend all of it, you know? And I don't even feel like looking at the footage to see what we got, so don't worry about it. Don't question it. Don't think about it. Don't. You know what's great is that we actually did get that 50% chance. We got to heal at the fountain, we got some extra health, and we got that tree for our good boy Cerberus. Or I believe it's actually Kerberos.
So after Kerberos devours the satyr sack, we do make our way up to the next level. And by the way, we gave him a sack of satyr spare parts, if you catch my drift. So that's kind of dark.
To keep you from your parchment work.
But after we do make our way up to the mortal plane, we run into our father, who is very intent on teaching us a lesson that we're not going to forget anytime soon. He's about to give us an ass whooping. But it's okay, because our good friend and Uncle Poseidon has gifted us with many of his powers, so obviously we're strong enough to take on the actual god of the underworld. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Now again, this is a genuinely difficult boss fight. Like many of the other fights in this game, he does a tremendous amount of damage with each attack. He has a lot of range. He does spinny stuff like you just saw on screen right there, and I just suck at dodging all of it too. I'm just not good. I'm a big dumb doo-doo head when it comes to this. But thankfully we did save all of our extra lives, so we have 4 total lives to waste on this one fight. How much health do we have? 335 times 4 is 1340? Oh wait, no. Because every time that we use one of our extra lives, we only get half of our health back. Oh god. That's math. So with the first death, we only get half of our health back, of course, and with the next death, we will also only get half. So I don't know, I'm just going to take a random guess. We have about 600-700 health to take this guy out. Wait, hang on. 7, 815 health. There we go. I can math. So I think we get 160 back from each life. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay. But yeah, after having only lost a single life, we do manage to beat our father into the ground. And that's it. We did it. Of course we didn't do it. There's a second phase. There's always a second phase. This is the final boss. What'd you expect? Come on. You're better than this. And of course with the second phase, he gets a lot of new attacks, including summoning... Oh, we died there again. Summoning a bunch of jars. He sends some jars of dirt at us, and basically if we attack those, they will reach out with some zombie hands and do damage to us. He also gets a new spinny laser attack, but we can easily dodge that by standing behind a pillar, which blocks the attack of a god somehow. So that's a pretty strong pillar. Respect to whoever made it. But, I mean, we still have 1.5 lives left, and he's about halfway dead, so I think we can make this work. Right? Oh, that's a really cool attack, by the way. I always think that's cool. But the little fiery skulls that he sends out... Oh, we died again. The fiery skulls that he sends out, if we don't defeat those within a set amount of time, they will do a very big AoE attack. It's not too difficult to dodge, but if you're focusing on also not dying and damaging Hades as well, it does get annoying. So we do try to take out these little fiery skulls whenever we get the chance. Wow. It's getting tight. He's very low, but we also only have about 100 health left, which is like 2 attacks from him. Oh god. We can take him out. We just gotta use our... Okay. We did it. Ready for phase 3? No, just kidding. I think there was a phase 3 at some point. I think I remember doing that. Oh yeah, if you increase the Pact of Punishment, he has a phase 3, I think. But yeah, there we go. We did an entire run through of Hades that only took us 3 weeks with only Poseidon boons. I've actually, again, have been wanting to do this run for years. I just stopped playing Hades for like 2.5 years, so I just never got the chance to do it. It's okay. I had a lot of fun coming back to it. The reason I made this channel is honestly to come back to games that I haven't played in a while and just do something different on them. Because, I mean, I've played through games like Hades dozens of times, or like Borderlands 2, I probably beat that game like 10 different times, but I want to do a challenge on it, you know? And guys, if you have any ideas for a Borderlands 2 challenge, please let me know. Regardless, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe and like the video and leave a comment, all of those are good for the YouTube algorithm, which is the end goal. We are trying to please the almighty algorithm. So do all those things, and then send me your credit card info, and thanks for watching.